So this is a small pad, and I'm putting that here. Okay, so remember with the big pad alone, we add 36 um 3/4. Small pad with the big pad alone, we add 36 3/4. Now we have both the big pad and the small pad. Now we even have more than what we need. We have 37.5. Okay, we have 37.5. So I'm going to leave it like this, but if you feel like, oh, I want exactly 37, it means that you're going to change this particular pad to the medium size pad, because obviously because you have two pads is now big, or you use two small pads. Okay, you keep doing that until you have the exact size you want. So I have 37.5, which I'm still fine. Now let's move to the waist. Obviously, you know that you don't use shell pads for, I mean, shell cups for the waist. So the waist is 27.25. Let's say we want 29 or 30 on the waist. Now, before you decide to pad the waist, you want to, it's very important that when designing for someone, you at least have seen their most recent size. That's within 1 month, they are contacting you. You've seen how they look. In fact, maybe within 2 weeks, because some people can lose weight within a month, or they can add weight within a month. So maybe within 2 weeks, or just ask for their most recent picture if they are not a walking client. So I keep saying that because sometimes quite normal people don't have working clients because we live in internet era now. So you could probably just get your contacts from online. Okay, so ask for them. In fact, preferably ask for a video where they turn around and they're wearing a fitted garment. They turn around for you to see. So the concept of that is that you get to see if they're having a waist 30 or 29, do they have a big tummy in front, or they are just wide by the side. This is what is going to guide you on how to pad your dress form. Do they have a big tummy in front? So it means that the back is deep and small, the side is also small. Or they are wide, the tummy is flat. So if the tummy is flat, you are going to take your shoulder pads, which this kind. If this is flat, leave this place. You're not padding here. You are going to take this. So you're guessing you could probably fold to get the middle point, but I can see the middle point. And then you take this. You can see the thick part is what is staying on the waist. And then you pin. You also pin at the back. Okay, this is secured. Now you can't leave this like this because you don't have anybody's body that comes like this and comes out. So you're going to put this as well on these upper parts. So this has to come to meet this. Okay. And then I'm going to drag this to also meet this. It can be dragged, so it's fine. That's why I really love this type of part. So I have increased this side. But now the reason why I recommend this part is because this is the only part that we need to increase. So this place, you remember this place is the part that is flat. So this place flattens out and smoothens into this part. Meaning if I don't intend to increase this hip part, it will not be increased. The thick part is only the area that will be increased for me. Okay? Let me drag this up. I like that they meet each other. Don't drag too much so it doesn't tear. So you have this, you also put at the other side. So can you see? So we had 28 1/4 before. So let's measure to see what we have now. So can you now I even have, okay, now I have 30. Easy it is to increase the size. Now I have 30. Now this for someone whose fullness is by the side. If they have a protruding tummy, that says they have a big tummy, then your padding is going to happen. You could take this off and put it here. I'm not going to take this off because I still want to leave it for you to see how the pads increase. So if you're doing this, you have to do this before you put this pad. So let me just take off this one. So remember the middle point. Now, depending on how big the person's tummy is, if the person has a big tummy, one pad might not be enough. You can decide to overlap again. So when I'm overlapping, sometimes I like to just turn it this way. But whichever one, if you still want to go ahead and have it this way, it's still fine. So this is helping you to increase the tummy area for you to know that this is where they have more fullness. If someone has more fullness in front, don't add by the side because it won't imitate the body. So if the fullness is in front, add more to the front. Okay? So we're going to be talking a lot more on the different padding techniques in the physical class. So we have a physical class for the draping workshop, which the flyers will be shared. You'll see details of the flyer. It's happening in February. Okay, it's happening in February. There's also an online version, so it's the same cost for online and physical. So whichever one you are okay. The online class is going to be a pre-recorded class, similar to what you're seeing right now. Then the physical class is physical. Everybody's present, you're seeing it. And of course, please send a DM. There's early bird registration, which is closing very soon. But please send a DM to make inquiries about the physical class. The physical class is an upgraded version of this free class. The free class is just to really expose you to see the world of draping, to see the so many things that you can achieve from draping, how to pad your dress on, how to drape. But in the physical class, we are seeing more on how to make a real garment from draping, like a garment that can be worn, not just the one that will just be draped on a dress form and then it's not taken off to be worn. A real garment that can be worn. Every participant would also make a draped garment that they would wear on the final day. Okay, so please look out for the flyer. It's going to be attached somewhere in this video. Look out for the flyer and send a DM as well to the admin, or just send a DM to the number that will be posted that you are interested in registering for the physical. You could choose to send that message right now because the early bird registration discount will be closing soon. So depending on when you're watching this video, the moment you watch the video, send a DM to just make inquiries. Is the early bird discount still on? If it's not on, trust me, whatever amount you're paying is worth it. Do not miss this draping workshop. Okay, so now that we have done this, the remaining parts that we need. So let me measure this for you to see. Remember, the actual waist size of the dress form is 28 1/4. When we added to the side, we had 30. Yes, we have 30 inches. Now we have 31. Can you see? We have 31 now. Okay, just because of what we are. So it's simple to actually just say that one side of this dress might add up of this pad might add about 1 inch for you, when you're padding. So we have our waist padded. Most times we might not really touch on the back because for most people the back goes in. But if it's someone that really has a big back, after you padded the sides to increase this place, you can add one pad. But most of the time it's a bit not so necessary. I would rather add more here to emphasize and increase the body size than to add at the back because most people don't have a lot of thing going on at the back. Okay, so if you're padding your waist, your hip, I mean, I'm showing you how to pad the bust. Please, you don't use this pad for the bust, especially when you're trying to pad. But if the person is white and then their bust cup is small, then the padding is going to happen here. Just add a little part to the side. Remember, this is your armhole, so you're not padding the armhole. So it's going to happen here. So you just try to increase the size a bit. So just even with what I have, so pad here, but ensure that you probably remove some part here because when you pad here, this will increase the waist measurement side. So you want to pad the bust area first before padding the waist so that it won't hurt the waist measurement. A lot of this we'll talk about it in the physical and online draping workshop where it's going to be a paid class. Okay, there's so much to learn. Trust me, even though you've watched this video, there's a lot you have gained from the free class, but we have not even scratched the surface. We have not, draping is like a new world completely, a different world completely. We have not even scratched the surface. And I don't know if I should beg you guys, but I don't want anybody to miss that class. Every help we can do. That's why we're giving an early bird discount for people who would take it immediately. But even if you don't get benefit from the early bird discount, trust me, this is worth it. And instrumental payment on installment is also allowed, just so that everything is flexible. There's no excuse like, oh, I couldn't afford at a certain time. You can you can pay on installments to keep your slots for the early bird discounts, just so you don't miss the early bird discount. So even if you don't have the complete fee, you can get to pay half the payment just to book your slots in the early bird discount. Okay, so where if you need more inquiries, just send a DM to the number. All right. So for your hip pad, we've measured and we said this is 38, right? Just in case you've forgotten. I didn't forget. I know that it's 38, but I just want to measure that again for you to see. Is it 38? It's 38. The tape was not standing well. So 38. In fact, this is showing me, okay, the measurement has to be on the red line. So this is 38. Yeah. I will use 38. This is showing me 37 1/4, but whichever way, I mean 37 3/4. So if you're padding, so if you have followed with this, you also realize if I want to increase this to 39 or 37 and 38 and a half or whatever, I already know that I'm putting two of this here. By the way, you realize that you need a lot of these pads because you are working with two. You are working with a pair every time you're trying to pad. So I always recommend if you're buying, please even buy like a dozen first. If you say, oh, I want to just buy small, just for a start. In fact, you need more than what I'm using here. I've almost used a dozen because this is two pair here. This is I mean this is a pair. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to use another one by the side, 5. If I need to pass, so maybe a dozen for a start would work. And you can get these particular shoulder pads at Lusodium on Instagram. So just send them a DM. They sell in dozens. They sell a pair too. Like if you just need a pair or two, you can get. So I'm pinning to hold that side down. So can you see what I have here? I'm going to do the same by the other side. Okay, so let's see. I'm sure if you're looking at this on my phone, it looks like we plastered the entire dress form. But let's look at it now. We are almost having 40. Can you see this? This is 39 3/4. Okay. I remember we had 37 3/4. I said almost 38. So we've added more like 1 inch and more than 1 inch. Now, if I wanted to increase this, so can you see now how this is like the technique you use when you buy a dress form and you feel like, oh, the bust and the waist is my size, but the hip is not my size. My hip is bigger. Just go ahead and pad it. That's what I always tell people who buy dress forms from us. Like, it's not this difficult. If you want a customized